Hello folks, it's Nicholas here at the allotment in the end of May. Just thought I'd give you an update on how things are going. Feeling a bit tired today. Tired and grumpy. Grumpy old man, achy and old. It's because I went on a motorbike ride yesterday for like nearly 300 miles and it's good, but now I am tired. Anyway, so here we are. I think the last update I did was mid-February. So yeah, we're two or 3 months on now, so, or 2.5 months. There was nothing here. It'd been a cold, miserable winter. It was a late spring. It's just so cold. And then all of a sudden, the sun's out, it's hot. But things are progressing in the allotment. I've had successes and I've had some failures. I get a bit frustrated by the failures. I don't know about you. I do. I want everything to go all my way all the time. A bit childish, I know. Anyway, so I'll turn you around and show you around. Okay, we'll start where I did last time. Let's go up here. Past my old shed. The bed by the shed. This is a bit of a mess. I need to sort these compost bins out. I've got a council bin which I'm going to use as additional water storage, so I want to move some of these compost bins, sort them out and put the water butt next to this water butt so I've got more access to rainwater, which is the best for plants. Tap waters, they don't like it, let's put it that way. So here's my Victoria plum. She's in full leaf. Come on, my baby, you can do it. Supply me with some nice fruit. I haven't seen any flowers on it, so I don't know what it's going to produce. We'll just have to wait and see, but it's looking healthy and leafy and happy. Brilliant. Rhubarb been great this year. Picked loads already. Loads of crumbles and stewed beet rhubarb. This variety is slightly different from the one I have in the garden. The one we have in the garden, tastier. This is still good. This is what I inherited when I took the plot on 3 years ago. If you remember, in February this was basically empty. I had a lot of trouble with the bindweed, and the previous year I'd grown flowers in it and some squash, and it was just, I had to keep digging out the bindweed which kept appearing and disturbing the roots, so nothing really flourished in this bed. It is my nemesis. This is 3 years of bindweed, it's still coming. I dug it down 18 inches, I pulled tons out. So the idea here behind this, growing these potatoes, is that they're new potatoes, they're rocket, which is an early variety, they're quick growing. I can harvest them, I can get them out. So I had to dig down to plant the potatoes. I'm going to have to dig them out. Hopefully I'll get some more bindweed out and maybe plant another quick crop in here when these come out, which will be in a few weeks actually. That'll be empty and I'll be able to put something in there. It's just making the most of what there is. I can't change nature, I can just try and work with it. Still bindweed coming through. I don't know if you can see, but I'll just keep at it. This is the second year globe artichoke. She's looking nice. I didn't know if it would, nice little head coming there. I don't really eat them, I let the bees have them. They're like a big thistle. There's a woody stem which it grew from. Last year I just cut it back and started sprouting again. I have another one there. Yeah, globe artichoke. This is my cherry tree. The birds really appreciate the cherries. As soon as they're ripe, the birds will land on those and scoff them. But hey ho, there's only a few. You go to Tesco's and buy some. The birds can have them. Little bastards. Zinnia, which I grew from seed in the greenhouse. They're slow to go, I don't know, I've never really grown them before, so they're quite colourful and a good cut flower, so I just thought I'd grow something a bit cheerful and try something different. Primroses have been in for a few years, they come back every spring, and the first to show a bit of colour. It's cheerful. Yeah. Bed number 1. Yeah. I planted a load of module sown salad leaves, peppery salad leaves in here, which was a lot of work. I plonked them all in, and basically I don't know if it was too cold, but they didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden they just went to seed without really producing much leaf, so I was a little disappointed with that. I interspersed the salad with some parsnips, which are coming now. I don't know if you can see those. Parsnip. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of parsnips, so if all else fails I might get some parsnip out of it. And I've just put in some lettuce plants, just in a attempt to get something in this bed. It just doesn't want to produce. I don't know why, maybe it's too dry. That's good. Look at that lettuce. It just multiplies and multiplies. You just keep picking. It's really buttery. I don't know if buttery is the right word, but soft leaf, quite mild. It's just nice in a salad. And here I have my leeks, which are mammoth pot leeks. I thought I'd get them in a little bit earlier this year. They seem alright, and not like going for it yet, but I think it's a little bit too warm. We'll just have to wait and see with that. And this here is my rainbow chard, which I picked for the leaf and the stem. It's starting to bolt, but this is the second year, and I've had a good crop off that. There's 3 colours. There's yellow, there's white, and there's red. The red is the most attractive yet. It always seems to produce the smallest amount of food, but it is very pretty. Rainbow chard, or ruby chard. The leaf is like spinach. We enjoy it, and the stems can be chopped up and stir fried. It's just nice. It's a nice vegetable. Here, bed number 2, where I put my asparagus, which I planted from seed last year. About this time I was given some seed. They're like little tiny black seeds, like smaller than a peppercorn, and I put them in the greenhouse within 3 weeks. Tiny little, sends up a tiny little asparagus, which is like a needle, and then it forms into these beautiful ferns. And I put these in the autumn. And I didn't really see much of them after that, and I was wondering if the slugs had eaten them, but they haven't. They're coming back. There's a few misses. There's a few that didn't survive, but I've got some more in the greenhouse ready to replace those. And look at these little, I don't know if you can see those tiny little asparagus shoots. Got a little bit of a wait, but that's fine. I've also planted amongst them some of the flowers that I've grown from seed. So these are marigolds. There's one in flower there, look. Just to give it a little bit of variation. I think variation is good when you're planting food. It's sort of, to plant all one crop in a field is just not natural, is it? Nature likes to produce an abundance of different varieties, and this is what we're trying to simulate with permaculture or no dig, or what I'm trying to simulate in my garden. I put 3 rows of carrots because obviously the asparagus is going to take a long time to mature, so I might as well make use of the bed, and I put in 3 rows of Autumn King, which is a long deep carrot for the winter. See how we get on with those. And also growing a few weeds. This is the thing about no dig, if you don't have to get a fork out, it is a lot easier. Oh look, there's another asparagus coming up. Yay, happy days. It's no big deal to get them out. It's fairly loose surface, you just pull them out. There you go. Piss off weed. It's really, really easy. I recommend it. I was wondering if the initial compost I used is not a good one. Perhaps that's why I'm having a few issues, but I don't really know. We'll see. I'll just keep persevering. But look how easy it is to pull the weeds out. It's just nothing. It doesn't take much to look after. There's a bit of a space there. I'm going to fill that space at the end of this bed with the asparagus that I've got in the greenhouse. So eventually this will just be one big asparagus bed. That's what I'm aiming for. Bed number 3. I planted a load of module sown beetroot which weren't successful. They just perished. I don't know if it was too cold when I put them in. They're all right in the modules, and as soon as I put them in the ground, they just like, well, what do you expect me to do? And they just didn't really do anything. I'll put a few more in. I'm just going to persevere with this bed. Might catch up, you know. There's a few. I put a few more beetroot module sown beetroot in, and they seem to be doing all right, but they're not going crazy. I'm really pleased with my broad beans. They're the best on the site. They really are. They're tall, healthy. I planted them quite close together. Some of my neighbours thought it was too close. But they do help support each other when they're like that, and they don't seem to be suffering because of it. And I've been picking these pods already, and we started off by eating a few smaller pods like this sort of size, just cook, steam them as they are and eat them as a vegetable. It's a bit weird, but they're alright, they're quite nice. And recently we've been picking some of the smaller. They're just starting to form into reasonable sized pods, and they have small seeds, and they can be used in salads. It's actually quite tasty and a nice addition to your salad. And soon we're going to be inundated with broad beans. I'll probably put a few in the box in the bottom of the garden for the neighbours. Garlic. It's got rust. There's a mixture of the soft and hard neck garlic. I planted these in the autumn in bulbs, and I just dug one up, and it's actually, I'm not too disappointed with that. It's not massive, but it's not tiny. So yeah, it's alright, it's usable, it's edible. Elephant garlic is a delicious vegetable. When you buy it in the supermarket, it's a little bit of a rarity. You can't always buy it. Maybe some specialist greengrocers would sell it, and it's very expensive. If you want to buy one bulb, you're talking about £5 or £6, maybe a little bit more per bulb. It's actually more related to leeks. I don't know why they say that. I don't really believe it. It looks like garlic, it tastes like garlic, it's just a little bit milder. And you can roast it in the oven with a bit of olive oil, and they're really delicious. A little bit floury, not so pungent and strong as ordinary garlic, but we really enjoy it. I've left this flower shoot on because I just want to see what it looks like. It should be quite attractive, and the bees will like it, and I've nipped the rest off. They've started to flower. Main crop onions, not overly impressed. They're not really doing a great deal. I don't know why. A lot of people have also suffered with lack of growth on onions, but they look okay. I think they'll be alright. We'll just have to see what happens. And this is my winter onions and shallots, so I've been using these in salads, pulling these up. These have also started to flower. I've picked off the flower heads, and we'll just see how they go. I'll use them now. When they begin to flower, they tend to go a little bit soft in the middle, so they don't store well, but they'll be okay. I'll use these first. And you can actually eat the flower scapes, they're called. They're sweet and mild and nice. Yummy. Shallots, as I told you last time, I'd not grown these before, but a little bit small, but I think there's still time. Some are good, like this end seems good, and that end doesn't seem quite so good. We'll just see what happens. 2 rows of early potatoes called Rocket. The flowers are beautiful. You could just grow them for the flowers, really, couldn't you? I really think they're just so beautiful, delicate. Deadly nightshade family, actually. And the 3 rows that you see there are my main crop, Wheeljay, which I grew last year, and I grew Rocket last year. They're good. Rocket, they're fast growing, they're tasty. Wheeljay, yeah, they're reliable, they're good. Good universal potato, good for everything, mashing, boiling, roasting. I've grown Dziri before, but they always seem a little bit small. My brassica cage is coming on now. Not just brassicas, I've chucked a few other things. Try and create more of a biodiversity within the area. Here we have fennel bulb. Not done so well. I haven't watered those quite as profusely as the others, which you'll see in a minute. And here we have Hurst green shaft peas, which are just starting to come into flower. We'll be picking those in a little while, I'm sure. But apparently you can grow peas. Some people grow peas not for the actual pods, but for the shoots. So for instance, that shoot there, you could pick it off and eat it. Use it in a salad, very tasty. Apparently it tastes like peas. It's a good idea if you are interested to grow peas later on in the season when they're not going to be able to mature into pods, that you could just grow them for the pea shoots. Yeah, there's 350 pea seeds in there. Also, I grew some sweet peas in the greenhouse, and these are looking alright too. Well, a little bit straggly. I could have probably supported them a bit better, but I've been a bit not lazy, but a bit busy with other things to be able to really look after it as it should be looked after. That's alright. They're climbing up the netting. Here we have some collies, Autumn King, cabbage, which I planted last year, which didn't do anything, but they seem to be doing alright now. Weird, they should have come last year. The weather's definitely been challenging for food growers, and I don't mean just people that have allotments. I think global growers. You look in the supermarkets, the quality of the veg is poor. Small potatoes, small carrots, small parsnips. The global warming is definitely affecting our environment, and the environment is not separate from us. We all will suffer too, I'm sure. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. It could even lead to a food shortage, really, couldn't it, ultimately? So it's good to grow your own. Well, it's 52 quid for one carrot. You'd be glad to have a few carrots in your own garden. Okay, here we have my fennel bulb. Started it in modules in the greenhouse. Really happy, really happy. Look at those beauties. Look at them now. I'll eat those as roasted vegetable with garlic and olive oil in the oven, and also you can just chop or grate the bulb and have it in a salad. It's a lovely, subtle, aniseedy, sweet flavour. Just adds another dimension to the flavour of your salad, which is, well, can be quite boring. Variety, isn't it? We like variety. Sweet corn, 2 different varieties. This one is called can't bloody see it. Picasso F1 hybrid with a red stem, and that's a new addition this year, and this is the gold crest on with the green stem that I grew last year. It was good. It was good. I just thought I'd try something different. I bought some different sweet corn, and I've interspersed that with a couple of butternut squash, which apparently like to be grown together. So squash, sweet corn, and climbing French beans. Apparently the 3 sisters, they call them, all like to be grown together. But yeah, really pleased with the way that's growing. I planted some outside tomatoes. These are beefsteak tomatoes. I've grown some in the greenhouse and they are twice the size, to be honest, but I had loads of spare plants, so I thought I'd put some in up here, and I've interspersed them with some marigolds and some zinnia. Yeah, it's looking alright. Here we got runner beans, which have all come up. Well, not all, but most of them. I planted some pea beans here at the end. I haven't seen them yet. We'll see. Quite happy with that. I think it's good. And the flowers that I moved over from the bed with the bindweed I've put in here. So there's some dahlias. Dahlia bulbs which I stored in the greenhouse over winter and bunged them in. A couple of months ago, and they're just starting to show. Some gladioli, zinnia again, marigolds, and echinacea. Echinacea are, I think, what they call perennials, so they come back year after year. So, and my apple tree. Look at that! I've got apples. Hurrah! Not had apples on this before. It's about 3 years old, and it produced loads of flowers. It was just, oh my god, it was so beautiful. So beautiful. Warms your heart, doesn't it? So yeah, that's state of play. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment. I'm open to suggestions. I'm not an expert, as I said. Yeah. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, people. Bye for now.